Hello, this is Ryunha, and today I will introduce you the paper Simulating Human-like Daily Activities with Desire-Driven Autonomy, accepted in ICRL 2025. Human intelligence is fundamentally different from most current AI agents. We, as humans, don't act just because someone gives us instructions or external rewards. Instead, we're guided by internal desires such as hunger, the need for social connection, safety, comfort, and self actualization. However, today's AI agents, even those based on powerful large language models, still rely heavily on explicit task definition or goal specification. This limits their autonomy, their ability to exhibit diverse behaviors, and their capacity to adapt in open-ended environments like humans do. This paper addresses the gap. Drawing inspiration from classical physiological theories like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the authors propose a new type of agent, one that can act without external goals by instead generating and selecting actions based on a rich set of intrinsic desires. The main contributions can be summarized as follows. First, the authors developed a flexible text-based activity simulator based on large language models. The simulator supports various agent types and texture environments, providing reliable interaction and evaluation. As such, it is well suited for further explorations in human-like activity generation. Second, they introduced a novel framework inspired by the theory of needs, enabling LLM-based agents to autonomously generate and prioritize activities based on dimensions of human-like desires. This framework allows agents to evaluate their states and select activities that align with intrinsic motivations, enhancing their ability to simulate rational and coherent human-like behaviors. Third, they conducted a comprehensive comparative analysis showing that the desire-driven autonomous agent consistently selects activities that align well with its intrinsic desires. Compared with the baseline, the activity sequences generated by D2A are more natural, coherent, and plausible, validating the framework's effectiveness and robustness. This is the main figure of the paper, illustrating the main architecture of the D2A framework. The red blocks represent procedure from the value system. The blue blocks indicate procedures from the desire-driven planner. The green blocks highlight the characteristic profile, and the yellow blocks correspond to elements related to the environment controller. And these are the two core modules of desire-driven autonomy framework, the value system and the desire-driven planner, supported by other essential components for agents, such as memory and self-reflection. The value system manages desire components, each representing the level of satisfaction for a predefined desire dimension. During the simulation setup, these desire components are initialized with initial random values and expected values. In each simulation step T, the agent performs the value system to provide description of desired component values and the desire-driven planner to generate the activity. At the end of each step, each intrinsic value of the desired components are updated based on the executed activity AT and the observation provided by the environment. The goal of the agent is to perform appropriate activities so its final desires can match with the expected values. The Maslow's series of needs suggests that individual behavior is motivated by meeting the individual's needs or wants, such as safety, social esteem, and self-actualization. To simulate human behavior, authors developed a value system that maps personality profile with the expected desired values. Specifically, for the indoor, single-agent environment, 11 dimensions of desired values are defined. The physiological dimension, representing fundamental survival needs, is further divided into categories such as hunger, thirst, sleepiness, cleanliness, comfort, and health. Safety needs are encapsulated by the safeness dimension, and the social needs, which reflect the desire for relationships, the social connectivity dimension is introduced. And finally, the self-actualization needs linked to personal growth are categorized into joy, passion, and spiritual satisfaction. Additionally, for the outdoor party multi-agent environment, three desire dimensions, recognition, sense of control, and sense of superiority are introduced to steer activity generation with higher level motivation in a social environment. To quantitatively track changes in the level of these desires and qualitatively translate numerical values into descriptive states, a 0 to 10 Likert scale is used for each dimension, mapping numerical values into texture descriptive outcome. And furthermore, uh, they possess that certain agent characteristics influence their expectation for specific desired dimensions. Thus, authors incorporate various characteristics that impact behavior tendencies and expected desires. They combine adjectives describing characteristics such as sociable, health conscious, with adverbs of degree such as extremely, quiet, moderately, and slightly, mapping them to the expected desired value (VD) for the corresponding dimension. For instance, the expected social connectivity value for extremely sociable Alice is 9, while for silently sociable Alice it is 7. During the agent's initialization, each adjective is randomly paired with an adverb of degree. After this automatic mapping, each desired dimension is assigned its expected value V star-D. The value system executes three key procedures at each simulation step: quantitative value deduction, qualitative value description, and value update. The quantitative value deduction procedure models the fluctuating nature of human desires by incorporating a decay mechanism for all instinct values. At the beginning of each time step t, the agent's intrinsic value Vt-1d for desired dimension d is reduced by 1 with probability Pd. This probability is determined by the agent's profile characteristic following the same mechanism used for the expected desired value mapping. Since fulfilling these desires served as the 2A's intrinsic motivation, the quantitative value deduction procedure drives the agent to continuously generate desire-driven activities. Since large language models often struggle with interpreting numerical values, the qualitative value description is used to translate these values into meaningful texture desire description. The descriptions are important for the agent to understand its current desire state so as to generate appropriate activities. To achieve this, authors implemented a workflow that converts all intrinsic numerical values (VT) into descriptive desire sentence (DT) by asking a set of predefined questions to backbone LLMs at each simulation step T. The agent is expected to recognize the shortfall between its current desires and the expected values based on the descriptive desire DT and its internal profile P throughout the simulation. After desire-driven planner takes over and generates the activity, the environment subsequently provides the agent with the corresponding observation response. Afterward, the value system initiates the value update procedure, updating the intrinsic numerical values (VT) of the desired components based on the activity AT, the observation OT, the previous values (VT-1), and the value description prompts. The desire-driven planner is responsible for processing the current desire status information provided by the value system, incorporating historical memories for the memory component, and ultimately determining the agent's next activity. To ensure that the agent's actions are rational and driven by intrinsic desires, the decision-making process is divided into three key procedures: activity proposer, activity evaluation, and activity selection. During the activity proposer procedure, the agent generates n candidate activities that may have positive impacts on its desires given profile, environment, past action, and observation sequence, and desired descriptions DT. These n candidate activities are then passed on to the activity evaluation procedure. The planner evaluates each activity AIT by imagining the resulting desire states DIT hat, which is the agent would experience after taking action AIT. Finally, in the activity selection procedure, the agent compares the forecasted desired states DIT hat for all and proposed actions. Based on this evaluation, the planner selects the activity AT that is expected to best fulfill the agent's intrinsic desires. This process ensures that the chosen activity optimally aligns with the agent's intrinsic motivations. After the activity is selected and executed, the environment produces the corresponding observation, and the value system for desire evaluation updates to reflect the new state, completing the simulation step. In the experiment section, a series of experiments conducted with a predefined environment to address three key research questions. Does the D2A generate more human-like daily activities compared to baseline approaches? Can the activities generated by D2A satisfy its desires like humans? Can D2A perform well across different environments? They use two experimental environments. The indoor environment is for a single agent, Alice, which consists of a house with 4 rooms, a kitchen, living area, bedroom, and bathroom. Alice has a detailed profile reflecting her priorities and characteristics across the 11 desired dimensions. The agent's primary goal is to live comfortably and fulfill its desires by interacting with the available item. A multi-agent social setting at a simulated outdoor environment, Central Park, is also included. This scenario involves a lively enjoy yourself party featuring diverse facilities and activities. They added two background agents, providing agents with opportunities to address higher level desires, especially desires related to social activities. This scenario enables us to validate the scalability of our framework in handling complex, dynamic, and socially rich environments. For the experiment, three baseline, React, LLM Mob, and Baby AGI is used to evaluate the effectiveness of the specific designs made for D2A. Desired states D2 are not provided to the baseline agents. Also, for the human behavior reference, human controlled agent is included. The author conducted 15 trials for each agent under identical initialization setting across all experiments to measure the two-way generate more human-like activities. They define likelihood evaluation method by employing an external model to assess with the win rate between activity sequence generated by two agents, determining which sequence appears more human-like compared to using GPT-4 using three criteria: natureness, coherence, plausibility. In the right figure, each point represents the win rate of the agent on the vertical axis when compared with the agent on the horizontal axis. The results indicate that the D2A outperforms other baseline agents. This superior performance may be attributed to the fact that D2A is motivated by desire, aligning with the theory of human needs. Guided by desire, D2A effectively simulates human-like activity sequences, demonstrating a level of natureness because of the recognizable characteristic of its profile. Two experiments are conducted to verify the assumption that D2A generates more human-like activities by satisfying its desires in a manner similar to human. The random 8-step experiments test whether D2A can rationally select activities based on its desires. The authors ran the 8-step simulations 3 times for each agent using the same random initialization. D2A significantly outperformed the three baselines, exhibiting lower dissatisfaction means and standard deviation. This result demonstrates that D2A is capable of recognizing both its current desired states and expected states and can rationally select activity to fulfill its desires, resembling human behaviors. To explain why D2A's behavior appears more human-like, the fixed 12 steps experiment is conducted. They ran the 12-step simulations 3 times for each agent and gathered the results. Additionally, they invited 3 human annotators to simulate a 12-step morning routine. For the experiment, 2 key results are observed. Human-generated sequences were the most effective at reducing average dissatisfaction, and although D2A did not significantly outperform the baseline as it did in the random 8 experiment, likely because all activities has a substantial effect on uniformly initialized desired values, it still produced results that they were the closest to humans. To assess the adaptability of our D2A framework within complex social interaction scenarios, they conducted experiments in the outdoor environment. The results revealed that D2A effectively minimized dissatisfaction across desired dimensions, mirroring its performance in the indoor settings. This consistent behavior underscores the framework's robust generalization capabilities across different environments. To conclude, this paper introduced a novel agent framework called D2A, which shifts away from traditional goal-driven AI design. Instead, it enables agents to generate and prioritize their own actions based on a structured system of initial desires. Through extensive experiments, the authors demonstrate that D2A can produce behavior that is significantly more human-like compared to existing approaches. It is not only satisfies its own intrinsic motivations more effectively, but also generalize well across between environments, including social interactive settings. The abbreviation studies further highlight the importance of qualitative desire modeling and multi-candidate action evaluation in driving intelligent behavior. Looking ahead, this approach opens up promising paths for creating agents that behave in more autonomous, adaptable, and physiologically grounded ways, especially as AI begins to enter more over-ended real-world domains. Thank you for listening.